Wings of Fire is obviously a fictional book series, and all villains are fictional. But if it was real and the dragons were judged in the legal systems we have today, just how long would they be locked away for? Before we start, I want to clarify that I will be using the American legal system for the most part, and will use some of the Geneva Convention's rules on war crimes if a crime is severe enough. Some actions in the series, such as mind control, don't have equivalent charges in real life. If it were to happen in real life, mind control would obviously be its own charge, but for the sake of this video, it will be charged under coercion. Oh, also, you may be wondering where exactly I was, as it's been a good 2 months since I posted any sort of video, and a month since I last live streamed. I would love to explain in this video, but that would drive down my watch time severely, so if you're interested, check the description, and it should be the second or third paragraph. Now, without further ado, let's discuss the first villain, Albatross. The first crime he committed was mutilation against Princess Sapphire when he enchanted the shells to bite off her claws/talons. He would of course receive a jail sentence and likely be ordered to pay for any services she needs done because of her disability and subsequent madness. A bit lighter in tone, but I'm going to charge him with animal cruelty for strangling a seal to death with a vine. Even though dragons hunt for food, we are never shown Albatross eating the seagull, showing that the intent behind killing it was malicious and its death was not necessary for its survival. After that, we have the big one, the massacre. He killed his sister, Queen Lagoon, making it not just murder but regicide. He killed Sunset, which is murder against a foreign diplomat, and attempted to murder Eagle, which is attempted murder of a foreign diplomat, imagine that. I don't think we are ever told how many dragons in total died, however he killed at least 9 members of the royal family. He also attempted to murder a lot more, such as Pearl, Indigo, and Fathom. He damaged the Summer Palace along the way, giving him one charge of destruction of federal property, as it is owned and constructed by the federal governments of the area, the Sea Kingdom, for the enjoyment of the seeming royal family. Seeing as the majority of deaths were royals and foreign diplomats, and he did it all on royal property, he would likely be judged very harshly in a court of law. However, he is an easy defense. He was not in the right mind while doing so. He can easily plead innocence on account of diminished responsibility, which says even though he is guilty, he was not in the right mind while doing the actions and did not know right from wrong. Animus magic in the series is well known to the dragons inside of it to corrupt the morals of the dragons who use it, so I believe this could work as a defense. However, this will not get him off scot-free, and he will still be charged with manslaughter, but instead of being kept in prison, he will be kept somewhere else. In the Wings of Fire universe, that would likely be an enchanted prison made by Fathom or an asylum. That aside, in the end, Albatross is charged with 12 years maximum for mutilation, up to 5 years in prison for animal cruelty, death for regicide, and a maximum of life in prison times 9 for at least 9 counts of murder, 44 years in prison for a count of murder against a foreign diplomat and another attempted one, a large fine and 10 years for destruction of federal property, and numerous cases of attempted murder against the survivors in the massacre. Next up, the biggest baddie in Wings of Fire, King Darkstalker of the Nightwings and the Ice Wings. The first crime he committed was enchanting the goblet to make Fathom forget its past. I will count this as attempted coercion since Indigo was able to stop this from happening. Darkstalker's enchantment on Indigo to place her soul inside the wooden dragon carving would count as kidnapping, specifically simple kidnapping, and as no physical damage was caused by the spell and she was not held for ransom. I researched also charging him with false imprisonment, however that would require her to voice that she did not want to be there, something impossible to do within the confines of the statue. Darkstalker also enchanted a dagger to kill an Icewing every full moon for 1 year. Now, this should be 12 charges, but you all forget that Peria has 3 moons. That means there's a lot more full moons in a year than our year. Of course, some of these would overlap, but I'm still going to increase the full numbers of full moons a year from 12 to around 28. So 28 charges of murder. Wait a second, I just searched up if you could kill a sleeping enemy soldier, and apparently you can? They are still considered a danger, even if they are sleeping, because sleeping can be faked. As long as an enemy soldier is alive, they have a possibility to kill someone, unless you take them into custody. So drop those charges. Another thing he did was enchant the Darkstalker's teeth, aka the shield around the Nightwing Kingdom. However, I feel like this was a necessity due to it being in a time of warfare, and the only Icewings that died from this, that we are aware of, were soldiers, who possibly could have killed Nightwings had the teeth not been there. We are drawing closer to Darkstalker's horrific crime against Arctic, but he committed several crimes against Arctic previously. Let's go over the first one. He enchanted a knife to stab Arctic in order to get him from flying. This is trying to prevent a crime and is not assault. However, enchanting Arctic to do everything he says right after is coercion. He is also committing unlawful imprisonment, but depending on how you look at it, it may be no different than a citizen's arrest to stop a criminal. And even though Arctic was the one to tear himself apart, Darkstalker was the one who got himself to do so, as he was in control of the spell. For that, I charge him with a count of murder. Darkstalker could be charged with attempted regicide, high treason, and usurpation due to his attempts to kill Queen Vigilance and take her place. Darkstalker's spell on the earring, forcing everyone to like him, counts as coercion. There was well over 5,000 charges of coercion, as it affected everyone on the continent. If you believe that Darkstalker enchanted Flame to attack Stone Mover as I do, that would be coercion as well. And his enchantment as Stone Mover could count as assault, as it is doing something considered harmful to someone without their consent relating to their body. If this sounds like a reach, it is not. There's real-life precedent for doctors being charged for doing unconsenting procedures with assault, which this certainly was. It could also count as mutilation. He attempts to make Fierce Teeth into Clear Sight. This happens multiple times, so let's just slap some more coercion charges onto his record. It's also identity fraud, even if it was forcing another individual to take up one's identity. Him summoning all the Animus dragons to the Nightwing throne room counts as kidnapping. Since there were 4 dragons teleported, he gets 4 charges of kidnapping. Him summoning Kinkajou counts as kidnapping as well, and he held her without her will. The kidnapping charges for Kinkajou, Anemone, and Turtle would be aggravated, as the My dog's rolling around on my floor, ignore that. Would be aggravated. As in the human world, any kidnapping against someone 14 or younger is considered aggravated. And Tui has said that she considers the Jade Winglet to be 14 or so years old when she writes them. He then attempted genocide on the Icewing tribe. Attempted genocide is a charge, and the means of doing it, bioterrorism, is also a separate charge. He managed to kill 21 Icewings with the plague, which counts as murder. He also managed to kill their queen, Queen Glacier, which is regicide. He also could be liable for poisoning or rather assault charges for any other Icewing who got sick but did not perish. Him taking Keebly to the underground cave would count as aggravated kidnapping as well because of that. His kidnapping of Vulture would be kidnapping and unlawful imprisonment. His enchantment of Vulture is once again coercion. He also gets a charge for attempted coercion from trying to rip out Keebly's earring, but I'm not even sure if that's a charge. That is all the crimes in Darkstalker's crime spree, which took place over 2,000 years. His charges read in total 3,000 or more years for several thousand counts of coercion, I'm not even kidding, 80 years for 4 count kidnapping for Indigo, Stone Mover, Jerboa 3, and Vulture, 4 life sentences for 4 counts of aggravated kidnapping for Keebly, Kinkajou, Anemone, and Turtle, 21 counts of outright murder, 2 to 20 years for assault, death for conspiracy to commit treason and attempted regicide, death for regicide, death for genocide, 30 years to life for bioterrorism, 12 years maximum for mutilation, and a maximum sentence of 15 years plus restitution for identity fraud. There's probably a bit more that I forgot to include, so feel free to pester me in the comments. If I got anything wrong about the legal system in this video, please tell me. I was confused by a few things, mainly kidnapping versus unlawful imprisonment, and would love to get some clarity on that. If you liked this video, feel free to tell me and I'll make some more. This was fun to do, and to try and research the legal system is fun even though it may be taxing. In addition, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and WarCat videos pretty often, and your support will mean a lot to me. And to those who have already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Peace, Rogan out.